from railways to roadways and bikeways. In 2013, signs of SANDAG success and momentum were impossible to miss. It was the year Transnet turned 25, a milestone for a program that continues to generate enormous improvements in the region's transportation system. Funds from the half-cent sales tax are driving bus, rail, and highway improvements from Oceanside to the international border. Transnet is also funding bike and pedestrian projects, local street repairs, and open space acquisitions. In 2013, construction continued on the Interstate 805 North project, where 2 express lanes are being added between the 52 and the 5805 merge. Included in that project is a south-facing direct access ramp at Carroll Canyon Road to complement the new north-facing ramp being constructed as part of the North Coast Corridor program, expected to be completed in early 2014. A few miles to the north, the eastbound SR 78 Auxiliary Lanes project opened in May, easing traffic flow along one of the region's most congested stretches of freeway. Also in North County, the SR 76 I-15 East Widening Interchange Improvement Project opened to traffic in August, ahead of schedule. August was an action-packed month in the South County, too, as commuters traveling along the 805 in Chula Vista watched the Palomar Street Bridge disappear from the freeway landscape. Demolition of the bridge cleared the way for construction of a DAR for 2 express lanes now under construction. This project gives commuters travel choices, and it also paves the way for Bus Rapid Transit's arrival to the South County.
We're standing here in Heritage Village, which is one of the smart growth communities that will be served by the Bus Rapid Transit, the future Bus Rapid Transit line that SANDAG is going to be constructing through Chula Vista to the Otay Mesa border crossing. Currently, the only way you can get to this village is either by car or by local bus service, Chula Vista Transit Service. In 2013, we took a big step to change that. The Board of Directors approved our environmental impact report for the South Bay BRT project. That's a major, major milestone. It was a very long and difficult process to get to that approval of the EIR. One of the challenges we had through the environmental process was a bridge through one of the Otay Ranch villages that we're going to serve. We were able to reach compromise through extensive work with the community, and the board adopted a 1-lane bridge option that allowed us to approve the EIR and move the project forward. Also in 2013, we were able to hold a number of community workshops on the bridge option after the EIR was approved. Those took place a couple of months ago. We held 2 of them in the community that was directly impacted by the bridge, and part of what they did was approve the design. They gave input onto the design, including what would happen underneath the bridge, what would happen on the bridge, what the facade of the bridge would look like. They were also able to give us some of their concerns about construction and how we might make the construction easiest on them. So at this point in the project, because of the actions that were taken last year, we're in final design, and we hope to go into construction by summer of 2014. In the summer of 2014, what the residents in this area will see is that we'll begin construction on the transit lanes and the station at Heritage Village. What will happen is that all the vegetation between the iconic rows of palm trees will be removed, and we'll put the 2 lanes of transit guideway through the center of the street, and we'll add the stations at Heritage, Lomas Verdes, and Santa Venetia, the 3 residential villages. The second phase of construction will continue across the 125 at the Otay Ranch Town Center, and then the third phase will be at the Otay Mesa border crossing, and then at that bridge across the 125. We anticipate construction to be completed by the end of summer 2015 and service in place by the end of the year.
New, sleek, customized buses are being delivered for this year's launch of Rapid Service. Along Interstate 15, these buses will use a series of direct access ramps that already carry vehicle traffic onto express lanes. Construction of a 4th DAR in the network at Hillary Drive is nearing completion. It will help serve another transit station at Miramar College, which will soon be under construction. Transit stations at Del Lago and Rancho Bernardo have been upgraded to create more bus staging areas, lighting, bus signs, and shelters for travelers. In the near future, Rapid will run more often, reach new passengers, and connect more communities. Service along the I-15, for example, will link to neighborhood lines like the new Mid-City Rapid.
I'm standing on the northbound platform of the Mid-City Rapid Bus Project. This station is located at Park Boulevard and University Avenue. To my right are the north and southbound travel lanes, in addition to the southbound platform. This configuration, as it heads north from University up to El Cajon Boulevard, is known as a dedicated guideway, exclusive for transit only, and it's a signature piece of the Mid-City Rapid Bus Project.
The new Mid-City Rapid Project will shuttle passengers between San Diego State University and downtown San Diego, a 10-mile route through some of the city's oldest and most densely populated neighborhoods.
We broke ground in July of 2013, and so we completed those improvements on the south side of University and continue working our way north.
Mid-City Rapid will feature limited stops and state-of-the-art designs and technology. That means faster and more reliable service.
A major benefit of this project is the reduction in travel time, from 52 minutes down to 37 minutes. Essentially, you're shaving off 1/3 of the travel time for transit commuters. And that's very valuable for people who use transit every day to get to work, to shop, to go home, to go to school. That's a huge benefit.
Buses will travel on dedicated bus lanes as well as shared travel lanes. A new transit signal priority system will enable the buses to move quickly through busy intersections by extending green lights if necessary. Passengers benefit from the new line, but so do neighborhoods along the way.
In the areas where we have our stations, we're replacing curb, gutter, and sidewalk. We're improving the drainage facilities along the entire 10-mile route. We replaced 33 traffic signals along the entire route. We're increasing some of the lighting along El Cajon Boulevard to make it a more pedestrian-friendly environment.
New buses will have low floors for easy boarding, and shelters will feature electronic signs indicating the arrival time of the next bus.
When this project is completed later this year, I think the community overall will be better served by the amenities and the level of service that we have. One of the things that really impressed me is that the bold and iconic passenger shelters that we're going to have here, these are architecturally designed. It's something different than you've ever seen on the system before, and it all goes to serve the branding of this route. So you'll know that when you see these stations and these shelters, that this is actually the Mid-City Rapid Bus service.
Passengers along the busy route will be introduced to a higher level of service when the new line debuts later this year. SANDAG marked another major milestone in 2013. After a nearly decade-long planning process and outreach effort, the final environmental document for the North Coast Corridor Program was signed. The program, which tackles the often gridlocked coastal commute, calls for the addition of 2 express lanes in each direction along Interstate 5, from La Jolla Village Drive north to Harbor Drive in Oceanside. The next stop is a hearing before the Coastal Commission, and there could be a decision on the permit as early as this summer. Another piece of the North Coast Corridor Program is rail improvements. An extensive double-tracking project is underway from San Diego to the Orange County line to make traveling by rail easier and more reliable. In 2013, design, environmental studies, and permitting were completed for the Sorrento Valley Double Track project, clearing the way for construction this year. This long stretch of single track that runs about a mile north towards Solana Beach is a bottleneck in the region's rail service. Adding a second mainline track will change passenger and freight traffic for the better.
So this year we've completed the design of the Sorrento Valley Double Track, which will extend the double track for a mile to the north of here and allow space for coaster Amtrak trains and freight trains to pass on the north side of the station. In addition to the double track, we need to replace an aging wooden trestle built originally in 1919, and this will be replaced with a new concrete and steel structure. As well as replacing the structure, we'll be raising the elevation of the structure and the track across This section of track, I've seen it flood at least 3 times in the last 14 years. So it's the lowest point on the Lausanne corridor, and so it is frequently closes the rail service between San Diego and Los Angeles.
To avoid flooding, some segments of track will be raised as much as 5 feet. When Sorrento Valley and other double-track projects along the corridor are completed, trains will run more efficiently and more often.
We'll be able to run coaster trains at 20-minute headways in the morning peak and in the afternoon peak compared to the 3/4 of an hour headways that are currently in place. A lot of people I speak to say, you know, I've ridden the coaster once or twice, but if I miss one coaster, it's a very long wait until the next coaster comes. So if anything could be done to reduce the headways on the coaster, I think we'd get, you know, a substantial increase in ridership. So in addition to headways, we need parking for people. At the moment, this parking lot in Sorrento Valley most days is full or 95% full. So people come down here at 8 a.m., 7:45 to catch a train, there's nowhere to park. So they're back up on the freeway. So as well as double tracking, we're adding 81 parking spaces on the south side of Sorrento Valley Boulevard so that we can encourage more people to come and park at the station and catch the coaster.
Because the new track will travel through sensitive wetlands and the habitat of 2 endangered bird species, SANDAG, along with permitting agencies, worked long and hard to select a mitigation site and to come up with a plan to protect wildlife.
You're building a grandfather project. This project will be here for 100 years. So my children and grandchildren will be able to come out and say, hey, Dad built that project. And so that's an important also part of being an engineer. We're building for the future.
Trains and trolleys are key players in the region's transportation plans. A massive system-wide rebuild of the San Diego Trolley is nearing the finish line. The last phase of construction got underway in September 2013 along the well-traveled Blue Line from Barrio Logan to San Isidro.
This is the Harborside Station where we're in the process of doing the trolley renewal improvement project. We've currently already torn down the station and are in the process of rebuilding it. As part of the project, we've already replaced 30 miles of contact wire on the system between 12th and Imperial and San Isidro. The project also includes replacing 11 miles of rail on the trolley renewal project.
Not only are trolley stations getting a makeover, station platforms are being raised 8 inches to accommodate a fleet of new low-floor cars that are easier for passengers to board. The cars, many of them already in service along other lines, will be a time saver.
We're moving the system from essentially a high-floor system where we boarded wheelchairs at the front of the door of the trolley, and now we're going to go to a system low-floor where people in wheelchairs and anybody with any kind of mobility device can just roll onto the trolley. The biggest problem before was the time it took to board and deboard wheelchairs, and that will essentially disappear on the entire system. So you get better on-time performance, you get a better ride, you get a nicer vehicle, and you get new stations. I mean, these are the stations are at least 30 years old. This is the original Blue Line, and so everything here was constructed at least 30 years ago. This line went in operation in 1981, and it's really never had a significant facelift, either the stations or even the major infrastructure.
Every day, 46,000 passengers ride the Blue Line. To avoid delays and inconveniencing passengers, much of the construction, especially replacing 11 miles of track, is done at night.
This is the oldest segment of the line, and some of this rail dates back to maybe the early 1900s, and so that's all being replaced. It takes a lot to maintain a railroad, but if we can do things like bring the system to a state of good repair, the time between repairs goes down significantly. So it's just created a better environment for the operators, which creates more certainty for the passengers, and then we've provided that improved environment for passengers. Another thing we're doing out here is a number of the transit centers, the bus transit centers that interface with the trolley system. We're moving the bus platforms right up next to the trolley stations, so the passengers can quickly go from trolley to bus. The significance to the riders is going to be that we can keep them on time, and that's important to riders because on a day-to-day basis, people want to be able to know that they can get to work on time with a reliable system, and that's what brings riders into the system and keeps riders. And so the big part of what we're doing on the Blue Line, this is where we carry the majority of riders ride between San Isidro and downtown on the Blue Line. And so it's very important to keep those folks on time and also upgrade the amenities so that we attract more riders to the system. The trolley renewal project on the Blue Line is probably one of the most significant things we're going to do to make sure that we keep and attract more riders.
While improvements on the established trolley lines will wrap up within the year, plans to build a brand new line along I-5 into University City took a big step forward.
There are several highlights in 2013. One, we reached a major accomplishment in releasing our draft environmental document for public review. We went through our public review period and we're busy addressing the comments now.
Input from the public prompted a major change along the route, the addition of a 9th trolley station.
A major addition to the Mid-Coast project was the addition of a light rail transit station or a trolley station right here at the VA Medical Center. It'll provide direct access from our station to the Medical Center front door and also to the surrounding facilities at UCSD.
The introduction of light rail to this bustling urban center in the city of San Diego is long overdue. University City is known as a high-density residential area and a hub for healthcare, business, shopping, and education.
It opens up new areas of San Diego County within the light rail transit system. There's some exciting opportunities here. There's UCSD, there's a major job market, there's major medical centers, recreational opportunities, and that's just another link in the system that allows people to travel by light rail transit.
Another major development on the Mid-Coast project was the board's authorization and use of CMGC, or Construction Manager General Contractor, delivery method for the Mid-Coast project. This will allow us to bring the contractor in early during the designing efforts going on in the final design of this project. He will be able to assist us on innovative solutions in addressing design challenges, assist us in risk management, and also assist us in some of the cost estimating and other efforts required to provide the final design of the project.
The Mid-Coast Trolley extension represents the first extension of the San Diego trolley system since completion of the Green Line to San Diego State in 2005.
The freeway corridors do get gridlocked during rush hour traffic. This will give them an opportunity to be able to use our transit and a trolley system and be able to decompress, read the paper, and enjoy the ride as they get to their next destination point.
2014 is going to be a very exciting year. We have a lot to accomplish.
We're going to be looking at completing the environmental document, getting a record of decision from Federal Transit Administration.
It'll really help us to move the project forward and get it into the final design and finally into construction.
Also completing a lot or starting to complete a lot of the design of the utility relocation work required so we can get a lot of that stuff out of the contractor's way so that in 2015 he can hit the ground running.
Over the next 40 years, our region will add another 1 million residents. They will live in 300,000 new homes and drive on our roads and freeways. To address the traffic demands of today and prepare for the challenges of the future, SANDAG is going high-tech with a pilot project designed to predict and manage congestion along the busy I-15 corridor. In 2013, working with local partners, SANDAG launched the Integrated Corridor Management Project. ICM brings together individual freeway, arterial, and transit systems and manages them as a unified network. This pioneering system was designed to reduce delays, improve travel reliability, and maximize efficiency across multiple agencies in the region. From high-tech to low-tech. In 2013, the SANDAG Transportation Demand Management Program, iCommute, continued efforts to encourage drivers who ride alone to find transportation alternatives. TDM is making a difference in how people get where they're going. The number of van pools increased over the previous year, serving 5,700 riders. Bike to Work Day attracted more than 8,400 participants, a 16% jump over 2012. 10 more schools signed up for the school pool program. In October, 39 employers representing 82,000 employees took part in the month-long Rideshare Corporate Challenge. And a record 47 schools signed up for Walk and Bike to School Day as part of the Walk, Ride, and Roll to School Challenge. The SANDAG iCommute program reached out to 200 employers and participated in more than 80 outreach and education events. iCommute's efforts add up to 141 million fewer vehicle miles traveled, 6 million gallons of gas saved at the pump, putting $24 million back in the pockets of drivers, 123 million pounds of carbon dioxide emissions avoided, and thanks to a bigger emphasis on walking and bicycling, more than 50 million calories were burned. That calorie count can only go up as SANDAG encourages more people to turn to bicycles as a mode of transportation.
2013 was the year for bicycling and active transportation. Active transportation, of course, is being active in how we get places, biking and walking. In 2013, the SANDAG Board of Directors took an unprecedented step toward providing travel options with the adoption of a bicycle plan early action program. We call it the Bike EAP. And within 10 years, we're going to deliver $200 million in regional bike projects. This is really a goal of the plan to be able to provide travel options for people, get many, many more people riding bikes than are riding today. For some time, SANDAG has been working on a number of bike paths with local jurisdictions and stakeholders to implement. And there's 4 of those. Many portions of those paths have been built, and the Bike Early Action Program will continue to build that out. The other facility types that we're talking about are urban bikeway projects. And this is really a new concept from a regional perspective. We're talking about building bicycle facilities within public rights of way on existing streets and roads in our cities and the county of San Diego. And to make them safe, they really need to be separated facilities, bike paths that are separated from where traffic is flowing. In 2014, we're working very closely with community members as well as local planners and engineers to determine exactly where these facilities should go. Right now, we have a map that shows corridors, but doesn't identify the specific locations. We're really trying to tap into the people who maybe have a bike in their garage and they haven't pulled out in years to dust it off and get on their bike and feel comfortable taking a trip on their bicycle. The other opportunity as well in urban communities such as where we are in Hillcrest, there's been a lot of research to show that as we bring more people walking and biking in communities like this, it can really foster economic development. You get more people closer to shops, closer to restaurants. The best thing about these bike projects, as far as I'm concerned, is that you don't need to wear funny shoes or dress in spandex or lycra. You don't need to look like you're riding in the Tour de France. You can just wear what you're gonna wear to work.
One of the projects in SANDAG's bicycle network is the Coastal Rail Trail, being built in segments through the region's coastal communities along the rail right-of-way. In 2013, a North County neighborhood watched with interest as SANDAG broke ground for a section of the trail in the city of Oceanside.
I'm here on site for the Coastal Rail Trail Oceanside 2B project. It's a half-mile project between Wisconsin Avenue and Oceanside Boulevard. Last year in 2013, we advertised it, awarded, and began construction. In 2014, we are anticipating complete construction in spring this year.
In just a few months, bicyclists and pedestrians in Oceanside will be sharing a landscape trail that runs along the railroad tracks.
We're actually building a bike path that connects to an existing bike path just north of Wisconsin Avenue. This bike path will eventually will be part of the overall Coastal Rail Trail, which is a 44-mile bike path that begins at the city of Oceanside and ends at the city of San Diego.
Wow, a bike trail that goes from Oceanside to San Diego would be great. That'd be, I can't wait to use it. I'd get my bike out and start riding to see how far I go.
On the right side, we're going to actually put an infiltration ditch that, helps with the water quality issues on site. But also, we're also going to be putting many landscaping, which includes a lot of bushes, trees. So the project's going to have a more like a park-like setting.
I would definitely use it. We both love to walk and we like to bike, and we haven't yet actually figured out where in this neighborhood is the best place to do that, so that's exciting to note.
Property owners like the trail because it will be an attractive buffer between homes and trains. Local business owners think the trail will bring new customers.
I think it will bring us a business, and and that's what we need in the city.
When it opens, the new Class 1 bikeway will connect to another half-mile segment of the Coastal Rail Trail just across the street. That stretch of trail, built by the City of Oceanside, leads to the busy downtown transit center.
I believe many people will be using this as a gateway to get to the Oceanside Transit Center, where you can actually catch a bus, put your bike on the bus, put your bike on the train.
For residents and visitors, the trail will be safe, scenic, and convenient. Getting back to our roads and freeways, last year our Freeway Service Patrol came to the aid of more than 55,000 stranded motorists. The patrol expanded its midday and weekend services to continue helping drivers in need. Along the South Bay Expressway, SANDAG boosted traffic by 20%, a performance that exceeded all expectations. The 125 continues to meet revenue targets set as part of the board's strategic acquisition plan. The toll road will get even busier when it eventually connects to the new SR 11 project at the international border.
2013 was an awesome year. We had to deliver about 14 or 15 projects for TCIF Prop 1B, and we delivered all of them. But the cream of the crop is we delivered the first segment of State Route 11. We are at the job site of State Route 11. This is segment 1. It connects the 905 towards the new border crossing in Enrico Fermain, which is further east.
Work on the first phase of this ambitious project got underway in December.
In this exact location, it's also the interchange between 11-905 and the future 125 connection with those highways. The Otay Mesa East State Route 11, it's a comprehensive project where we're looking into a new freeway and a new border crossing that's being proposed by the region where we would help the federal government funding this project through toll revenues. State Route 11 will be a toll road approaching the border, and the toll revenues will help pay for the highway and the port of entry itself.
SR 11 will channel border traffic through a bigger and more efficient border crossing, one that has the capacity to handle the huge increase in truck traffic that's expected over the next 10 years.
Even so, San Ysidro border crossing is going through a major expansion. No expansions are planned in truck crossings, and that's what generates jobs, and that's what we're talking about, a lot of the lost revenue and opportunities to creating a mega region between the Tijuana and San Diego areas.
A December groundbreaking reflected community interest from both sides of the border.
Mexican officials came to the event, and local reps also came to the event. Very appreciated of the board members who made it, and it sends a very strong message to our partners. Coming up this year, we're going to be finishing early this year the financial strategy to finance the next two phases, the border crossing and the remainder of SR 11, with bond revenues and other creative means. That's where we're going to be presenting that strategy to the board and asking the board to assist us in the negotiations with the federal government and the Mexican government on getting this job done, which is opening a new border crossing.
None of these projects you've been hearing about would be possible without a regional plan. In May of last year, the board adopted the vision and goals for San Diego Forward, the regional plan. Adoption followed an extensive public outreach effort, including community meetings and council presentations. To realize our regional plan's vision for compact, transit-oriented development, $9.6 million were awarded to support 13 new local Transnet Smart Growth Incentive projects. As those get started, 7 others from the previous grant cycle were completed, including capital and planning projects in Chula Vista, Lemon Grove, and the City of San Diego. In formulating the regional plan, SANDAG continued its collaborative efforts with the Southern California Tribal Chairmen's Association. In March, there was a kickoff workshop for tribal consultation for the plan. A survey over the summer zeroed in on regional policy issues of concern to tribes, concerns that were discussed in depth at a November workshop. Throughout the year, SANDAG worked with the Interagency Technical Working Group on Tribal Transportation Issues to determine areas of need for tribal nations. Back at the office in 2013, we completed development of a social equity handbook and staff training to make sure SANDAG is in compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and contractual obligations with the Federal Highway and Federal Transit Administrations. Thanks to the decisions and direction of a dynamic board, 2013 was a groundbreaking year for SANDAG and the region's transportation network.